great talk today. We have Scott Beckendorfer of Captivate. So they're a low voltage company here in Austin, Texas. Actually, no, San Antonio.
Austin and San Antonio.
Y'all have grown. So,
True.
They can handle all of your audio, video, and lighting control needs. So those are some of the things that we're going to get into today. Some of the things like, the importance of good lighting design. Another big one is power management. I'm excited to talk about that because there's some good real world examples that we can get into about power management. And then another thing is, service and maintenance after construction is completed. So that's another big one that we can touch on today. But Michael, you got a shout out or a article you want to talk about?
Yeah, today we've got a headline. And this is this kind of business related. It's on the market side.
Gosh.
In the past year, the whole category or industry of precious metals has skyrocketed. And I was looking at some things recently, particularly silver. I think it's up like 300% year to date. Copper is up about 60%, and gold's about 75%. And, from a market perspective, that's interesting. Those also have effects on our industry, the construction industry. Copper is one of those that,
that's big.
That has a pretty profound effect. And, so I'm interested to hear y'all's takes on that, but I just wanted to highlight that as, something that, as we see prices, a couple of years ago, we had, obviously, pandemic, affect pricing. This is another thing that is, I think, probably going to affect pricing in our industry this year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it seems like over the past, what do you think, 10 years, there's been more of a push towards electrification, getting away from oil and gas and trying to, everything needs to be electric, which, I don't know where you necessarily stand on that. I prefer oil and gas, honestly. But there's nothing wrong with...
Keep it old school, baby.
Yeah, buddy. Roll coal, buddy. But hey, there's nothing wrong with, an electric furnace. There's nothing wrong with an electric car.
Yeah.
The batteries, that's all great. If you want to do that, have at it. But I definitely think this push for electrification is, that would explain in large part why we're seeing an increase in demand for all these, copper and cobalt and lithium and gold and all these other things, and especially with, good Lord, with AI, holy crap! All these data centers they're building, that's a materials black hole there that just sucks everything in. Scott, I don't know if you have any insight into
the most recent thing I saw this last week was Amazon just bought a copper mine.
Wow.
So Bezos is trying to get into the copper world, arbitrage, so that he can get all the copper for his AI centers.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty interesting. The one that doesn't seem to be moving as much or as fast is platinum. That seems to be the laggard in the group, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With with all things, audio, visual, I mean, something like silver, microchips, have got a lot of silver in it, that
no question.
That is something that I'm sure affects that world. It's so interesting. These things really touch. I don't know what something like platinum would be interesting to see. Off the top of my head, I don't know how that would bleed into, our niche of residential construction. I'm sure it does.
It does, I'm sure.
But it's just interesting to see. I'm sure that'll have some effects.
Of course, every amplifier has a core winding for the amplifier. You've got the transformers. You've got all sorts of copper in these big, heavy pieces of equipment.
Totally.
So I think it's definitely going to affect prices over time. The tariffs that we're about to see in Europe is going to affect prices. Some of the high-end amplifiers come out of Europe. So I know I've got one manufacturer that's out of Denmark on a good chunk of the amps that come this way for audio video.
There you go.
So I think we'll see some increases in price, but I thought it was interesting that Bezos hauled off and bought a copper mine.
That is crazy.
That's pretty wild.
It kind of seems like it's becoming a monopoly. I mean, aren't there laws against that?
Yeah, something like that. The
like
doomsday prepper in me just wants to go find every scrap of copper I can
Right.
on all our sites and just
Hoard it.
just put it in the back of my closet.
That's
or
what the
something.
electricians do, man. It doesn't matter if it's 2 inches long. They'll go grab it.
Yeah, not taking that with me.
Keep a 5-gallon bucket of copper scraps. But
I struggle with that because we do, we've been in the business 31 years. So we've got a lot of legacy products or projects out there.
Yeah.
And clients will call or will reach out and they'll upgrade their systems. And we'll pull these massive amplifiers out. And I go into the warehouse and I see these stacks of equipment or, 25 TVs that have been pulled out of houses over time. And we take them to the not the dump, but to
like a scrapyard.
Scrapyard. And we don't really work at pulling all those parts apart. And I've thought about getting some kids from the university or trying to find some help and trying to really get serious about saving or conserving some of that stuff. And I just can't make the dollars work. I can't figure out.
Intensive.
It surely is.
Yeah.
So it is sad though to see some of those beautiful old amps getting sent to the boneyard.
Yeah. Still like tube amps like that.
No. We don't send those. Those are pretty sacred.
Those are vintage.
Yeah. But some of these old Crestron amps, for instance, are 300 pounds, 400 pounds.
Oh wow.
So there's a lot of copper in those
That's
things.
wild.
That's true. Wow.
It's
crazy.
Wild.
Well, Scott, I want to dive right in. I want to get into this first topic, which is the importance of lighting design, and it's something that we were kind of kicking around a few minutes ago. But lighting design, I guess, has advanced tremendously over the last decade. I mean, even the last 2 to 5 years. I mean, there's a lot that's going on, and it's moving fast. And we were just a minute ago talking about some of the pros and cons of having a good lighting design. So I really want to hear your thoughts on this, and give me the rundown on like what it is about a lighting design that's so valuable.
Sure. So in my 31 years of doing this, I can remember back when a lighting designer was used maybe once every 30 or 40 jobs.
Right.
Very rarely did you see them. It's now to the point where lighting design or the quality of lighting on projects is probably a better way to put it. The quality of lighting on projects has increased immensely. People are starting to understand the importance of light. Used to be they'd be just 4 cans and a fan in a room, and it would be some incandescent bulb, nothing really fancy, maybe a dimmer, maybe not.
Right.
Now we're getting into the point where people are actually having levels of light in a room. Yeah. It's not just one source of light. So the ambiance, the experience when you walk into a house is becoming more and more important. You guys build high-end homes. You understand what that's like.
Oh, totally.
What's really interesting is I can remember back when you walked into a high-end home and you didn't see quality lighting. It was disturbing. It made all that beautiful work that the trim carpenter did.
Felt bland.
It didn't feel good.
Yeah.
So to me, it's exciting and rewarding, quite honestly, to walk into a house and actually see that somebody took the time out or understood the value of light. Yeah. Because everybody's work looks better under quality. Well, everybody's work should look better under quality light. Yeah. And if you're using quality trades, then you're going to have quality product.
Yeah.
So I think that may be one of the reasons why we didn't have it back in the old days is, the type of texture, the type of quality of work that was being done may have been subpar. And so now we're to the point where the expectation's much greater for every trade on a job site, because level 5 sheetrock, if it's not done right,
you're going to see the difference.
You're going to see the difference.
Oh yeah.
That's true. So we are finding that lighting fixtures are really, really important, whether they be decorative, owner supplied, or whether it's from the electrician or even from the AV contractor who may have done a design for the property.
Yeah.
We're seeing light changing, color changing. We're seeing circadian rhythm.
Yeah.
So that's really big.
Yeah.
People really want to enjoy the time they spend in their houses.
Yeah.
And
well, people are spending a lot more time in their house. So
yes, they are.
That goes to it.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So
how do you in a kind of area like that that's changing so rapidly? You know, what are ways that you guys stay on top of what's? It seems to be a balance of being on the edge, but not being too far ahead where you start getting into, you know, if you've got a high-end home, a big job, that's, hey, we want high quality, you know, we want the best lighting. Well, the newest thing that's on the market, in some ways, it's untested. It may not actually be the best, you know, so you're kind of, and companies are pushing out new products, you know, so how do you, as someone who wants to be an expert in that area, kind of, it's just this constant evolution. I mean, I just get tired from, as a builder, going, you know, good. I mean, you know, take even just one country, you know, take Lutron or Crestron, you're trying to stay up with those specific problems. I'm like, this is a full-time job, you know?
Sure.
That's probably why that's why you have a job.
Probably.
Well, maybe why I have gray hair. So
you might be right.
Yeah, right there.
So I learned a long time ago and learned the hard way. We want to use best-in-class products all the time. They cost a little bit more, but at the end of the day, on the backside, I want to have less service issues. Okay, so when you're doing anything, and y'all are the same, right? I mean, you want to use the same quality products over and over, so you know where 100%. They work, how they work, and what it looks like down the road when they need service.
Yeah.
We like to think of ourselves as cutting edge, but not bleeding edge. In other words, we don't want to bleed to death in the process.
Yeah.
So I tend to, with a lot of my manufacturers through the years, what we do is kind of give them some time to cut their teeth and make sure that what we're putting out to our clients is ready for real time.
Ready for game time.
Game time.
Yeah.
And I could name manufacturers that I play that game with. There's some that I don't really have to worry too much about.
Yeah.
But that technology is not super crazy difficult.
Right.
And then there's others that you need to kind of see if they're going to bleed to death first.
Yeah.
And so Ketra is a perfect example. Ketra was invented in Austin, Texas.
Really? I didn't know that.
Fabulous product.
Cool.
But Ketra of old, I had first generation in my house. Ketra of old was okay.
Okay.
Ketra now is truly quality product that works day in and day out.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing problems with that product. So, but it's taken, I don't remember when they invented Ketra, but I'm going to say it seems like 5 years ago, and it's probably more like 10 years ago now. It was pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was probably 15.
Okay.
And now it's a real product. It's a legit deal.
That's
Lutron
amazing.
bought it from the local owners.
There you go.
And probably bought it right.
Yeah.
And they've invested a ton of money in it.
That's
revamped a lot of things to create a product that really works in their ecosystem.
Wow.
And so it's really revolutionized the industry, because now we're seeing, isn't that funny? A little company out of Austin, Texas revolutionized the lighting industry.
Who would have thought?
Right?
I mean, wow.
Guys in the tech business, not in the lighting business, changed the lighting industry.
That's crazy.
And so now you've got other manufacturers that are, I'm going to say mimic, that might be, they're trying to pattern. How's that sound? A little better than mimic.
Yeah.
Trying to pattern those same attributes as the Ketra solution. And they're getting better.
Yeah.
I don't think they're quite at the Ketra level, but they're not at the Ketra price either. So that is a very elevated quality product that's not for every application.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, you may not put Ketra in every room,
100%.
but you're going to use it where it's really important.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
what I've seen is people with art really appreciate the value of not only lighting that art properly, but people with art move art.
Yeah.
It's never the same piece of art in the same place.
Interesting.
So it's a joy thing.
Yeah.
And there's people that have storage for art.
Yeah.
There's people that have art in other rooms that they move from room to room.
Yeah.
There's people that have art in museums around the country that they get back on a regular occasion.
Mm-hmm.
So it really depends on the level of your client, but even a inexpensive piece of art with a quality light looks 1,000 times better.
Oh yeah, it's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Do you think lighting design, was it kind of a trickle down effect where, you know, it started as like you only really saw it in the commercial realm, and then it trickled down into high end homes, and now it's sort of trickling even further into, you know, like the $200 to $500 a foot range? You know, is that kind of how it's?
I think I've never really thought about it, Lonnie, but I think that's probably right. It probably started in museum quality applications.
Yeah.
Then it moved to the work environments, because every work environment needs to have the proper lighting. So we start talking about foot candles and, you know, how it's going to illuminate the space.
Yeah.
And then you had those clients that understood quality of light,
Right.
that brought it into their homes, which turned into friends wanting what the Johnsons have.
Keeping up.
And then it became more mainstream.
Right.
But if I think back to the first lighting control job I did was in 1998, and it was a 15,000 square foot house, 3 stories. And I'd never done it before, and I was scared to death to do it. I was really worried. Very, very high profile client, and I knew that if it didn't go well, there was going to be a problem.
Yeah.
On that job, we had a lighting designer for the massive formal living room.
Okay.
But beyond that, there wasn't any lighting design. They were willing to spend for this, I think it was about a 3,000 to 4,000 square foot room. So as it went on, I started seeing that particular lighting designer more and more. Not every day, but every once in a while. And then we became friendly. But if you really wanted a lighting designer in Austin, Texas, there was really one. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you want lighting design, you can get it in a lot of different places.
Yeah.
So I like to say it this way. There's lighting design to sell fixtures, and then there's lighting design to create a good look.
That's true.
And I believe there's manufacturers that are selling lighting design to sell their product.
Right. Yeah, that makes total sense.
If you're an AILD, which is American Institute of Lighting Designers, I think that's right, you cannot specify, or you can specify products, you cannot sell products.
Wow.
So I think that's a really powerful thing, right?
Yeah.
They're not in it to sell it.
Yeah.
They're in it to design it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of an awesome thing.
That is an awesome
right?
thing. Yeah.
That's great.
So we have people popping up around town and around the country that are actually popping up to sell their product. And I think that's a disservice to the client.
Yeah.
I want to make sure the client gets the right product for the right application.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. So it's not self-serving. It's serving the client the way the client needs to be served.
Yeah.
That's good.
Lighting design it's hugely important. I mean, I think every project we do ends up getting a lighting designer. I don't want to say every single one, but I would say 99% of them have a lighting design. I mean, and that's kind of what, I don't know, Michael, you could probably talk about it, but it's kind of what architecture is, right? It's like designing a home around the light, right? It's you're utilizing sunlight in many different applications.
Light's one of the most critical elements of
I mean, you always hear about architects or even interior designers, you know, designing around, you know, the natural lighting.
Yeah.
You're utilizing windows and skylights and, you know, openings in a certain way that's going to cast shadows or bring in light in a certain way. Like, and all we're doing with lighting design is trying to mimic nature. That's all we're trying to do. And it never quite gets there. It's getting close. I think the Lutron Ketra, I think you talked about it earlier. The what'd you call it?
Circadian rhythm.
Yeah, circadian rhythm, where they're trying to match the interior lighting, as you know, is trying to match the exterior, what's going on. So as the lighting throughout the day changes outside, the lighting on the inside of your house will also change the color, temperature, and everything.
Incredible technology.
It's so crazy technology. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. So I've got a buddy in the restaurant business, and we have played with Ketra lights on food, on a fast food line, but also in an application on tables. Yeah. And being able to dial in the light
so cool.
for what the client's actually eating is awesome.
That's so cool.
We did an event, I think it was 2 years ago, at the Ketra showroom here in town. We invited 50 architects. We had all the bigwigs from Lutron fly in from all over the country. And then we had Meridian loudspeakers show up. Awesome. And so the president of Meridian came over from Europe, set up some speakers. We had Uchi do the food. So we catered Uchi.
Awesome.
And we had a 5-course meal. And we set up different tables. Yeah. And so for every single different dish, we had different lighting. So with cool. music. And I got more rave reviews from the architects in town. They were just blown away with the whole concept. So the food was awesome.
Yeah.
But the lighting and the sound matched the experience. Wow. And the ambiance was amazing. Here we were in this commercial, showroom. Yeah. But it felt so comfortable.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was awesome.
That's incredible.
That's so cool.
I kind of want to ask, before we move on to power management, but what are we starting to see like AI integrated with lighting systems where, like how adaptable is the lighting? We talked about the circadian rhythm and all that, but are we getting to the point where, AI is sort of tracking you throughout the house and it can adapt the lighting based on different, maybe your mood or, if you have guests over, it's automatically adjusting light and doing those sorts of things. Yeah. I don't know if you can maybe talk about like what's coming up. What are you seeing?
So many, many moons ago, Bill Gates was building this massive house. Maybe before he got married, I can't remember. It was a long time ago. And I heard stories from one of the integrators about how these hallways had different art, but then they also had flat screen TVs that were showing art. And depending on who was walking through the house, the art would change by the person that was walking down the hall.
Wow.
Okay. Sounds really painful to me.
Yeah.
And it was not a 5,000 square foot house. It was like a 50,000 square foot house.
Yeah.
I don't know what date that was, but it was it was very futuristic.
Yeah.
We have a saying in our company, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Very good.
Okay.
That's a great idea.
And so I think it's important you can talk about a lot of elaborate things.
Yeah.
But what I've found is people's lives change. Their expectations change. Their children grow. Their children leave the house. What we really need to do is build a building with the lighting that can last the test of time. We want the program to be able to be modified as they live in the house.
Yeah, flexibility is key.
And I think you want to stay somewhat careful as to how crazy you go down these roads.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that we could create AI with some sort of key fob that you carry with you. Scott's key fob does something different than Michael's key fob. Those are pretty simple and they're easy to modify. But I think you could get really crazy and you could spend a ton of money. And I don't know at the end of the day if every resident in the house would be pleased with the outcome of too many crazy things. I don't want to, just because you can doesn't mean you should is a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid, maybe too basic,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So somewhere between that and doesn't mean you should is the right place.
Yeah,
That's true.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a good way.
So, it's all about client expectation, and quite honestly, there's some clients that don't always aren't the perfect client.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And I'm sure y'all have run into that where it's like,
Yeah.
maybe that's not the right way to go about it. Or I'm not sure there's going to be a happy client in the end. So I think the qualification up front is really important. And back to the lighting design. To me, it's very simple. If you go into a room and start talking about how they're going to use it, ask the key questions. This is a perfect room to discuss, right? What are you trying to accomplish in this room? We talked about those doors going away. If that becomes an art wall, we really want to accent that wall properly for the type of art that we're going to try to put on that wall.
100%.
Knowing full well that art could change.
Right.
Yeah.
So we got to think through what that could ultimately look like. So does that kind of answer your question, or did I go down some deep rabbit holes?
No, I think that's perfect.
I feel like you shot me down, but that's okay. I was trying to get some, what are you seeing in the pipeline? But that's okay.
So keep in mind,
that's great.
All these fixtures that are coming out have computer chips in them.
Yeah.
What do computers not like?
Power outages.
Power outages or jolts of power.
Hey, that's a good segue into our next topic, which is power management.
Hey,
that's great. Well, okay, so let's continue that line of thinking then. If we're talking about power management, what are some important things to consider?
Well, I think there's non-negotiables, right? If my power goes out, what do I have to have not go out? What has to work? Right. So I think that's where you start. That's the foundation of everything that you should be thinking about.
Yeah.
So some could say, I have, 10 freezers of exotic meats. Well, that's probably something that needs power. So that might be something that we want to make sure we can back up with either battery or generator or both. Then there's general light. And that's probably important, maybe not throughout the house, but surely in key areas where you can, at least exist if we have a snowmageddon like we may have this weekend.
Right.
We all remember, was that 4 years ago, where we had it seemed like 2 weeks we didn't have power.
Yeah.
For some of us.
Yeah.
And I remember in my house, we actually, it's kind of crazy, we pulled power from the neighbor's house with a extension cord.
No way.
And we were able to get power in our family room.
Wow.
So life was okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we had something crazy in our neighborhood where the electricals, I'm on a phase that's different than my neighbor, something weird. So I always, when the power does go out, I always have to get the power company to go down and fix my issue to get the 5 or 6 houses that were with me. But back to what I was saying, I think it's really important that you think about, we can't turn on everything. We can't back up everything. Well, I guess we could.
There's a price point.
There's a price point.
There's,
it's diminishing returns at some point, right? So we have to figure out what the most important things are. So I would grade those. I'd rate those. Go through one through 5 and figure out what's most important to people, and then identify how we can manage that. So
that's great.
Generators are. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to add on to that and say, a lot of electrical system, you have it's kind of by your panel size, right? So it's your volume. So you got your 150 amp, you got your 200, your 300, 400, 600.
Yeah.
And that's a helpful way to frame it for people. I think that's not commonly thought about.
No.
I'm going through this with a homeowner right now of the cost jump is considerable as you move up into those tiers, right?
Yeah.
So I think what you're talking about is really wise, but it requires prior planning, because if you have a large house and they identify the things that are necessary, well, that exotic meat spot, that might be different than, the kitchen lights or whatever.
Right.
So how are they distributing that backup power or thinking, that has to be thought through.
Yeah. It really depends on the size of the house. It depends on how we're going to lay out the electrical.
Right.
Depends on whether there's a electrical consultant on staff or on the job.
Right.
Which in a lot of cases I strongly recommend.
Yeah.
It involves a lot of things, but I think the key thing for me, Snowmageddon taught me one thing, and that is everybody believes that a generator solves all your problems.
Mm.
There's a belief in the world today that you can go out and buy a little, I won't use names, but starts with a G and ends with a C, and you go out and get one of these little boxes, and that will solve all your problems. And that's not
How about
really,
the generator side that all has to work.
And then there's others that will go big dog with a monster in the backyard, which doesn't necessarily solve your problem either. Right. So I think that's probably one of the things in our industry that I think we need to do a better job of, and that is educating people on what a generator actually does.
Yeah.
Well, let's get into that. I mean,
that's really great.
What problems does a generator solve, but also what issues does it create?
Yeah. Well, when a generator is running smoothly, it gives you power. Mm-hmm. But to get it to run smoothly, it has to fire up, right? I think most people's belief is power goes out in my house, generator's going to kick on, TV's not going to change.
Right.
I'm going to keep watching whatever I'm watching. That's not what happens, right?
Sure. Right.
We have power go down, generator recognizes power goes down, it fires up, it gets enough energy to kick into the system, and 3 minutes, 6 minutes, however long it takes, we get power again. Right. One of the problems and I don't have a generator on my house, but one of the problems I've been told is, the revving of the generator is giving unclean power. So we may not be at 120, we could be at 95, or we could be at 135, but it's not always 120.
Interesting.
So the other thing is when that generator kicks in, there can be a jolt.
Yeah.
And as we all know, when there's a jolt, computers don't like that.
Things break.
Fry some things.
Yeah. Somebody told me the other day, I bought a truck a while back that it's generally new. Somebody told me there's 146 computers on that truck.
That's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
In a Dalgleish house,
yeah,
how many computers, excluding AV?
Oh gosh,
how many computer chips are in the house?
Yeah. Gosh, I don't even know.
Yeah,
I mean, appliances are equipped with chips. I mean,
every appliance.
Yeah.
Sometimes multiple.
Sometimes plumbing, even like
plumbing.
You have plumbing controls,
security devices, leak detection system.
Yeah.
Everything. Air conditioning. Heat. Everything.
Pool's got a ton of
pools.
The septic tank if we're in the country. I mean, there's just a lot of things that don't like that thump.
Right.
And so that thump, if I'm not mistaken, you can set your generator to kick on once a week to make sure it's working for the day when you need it. Every time it does that, we get a thump. So there's a lot of things that we're just not thinking about. If we had the generator and it comes into a battery source, which cleans the quality of the signal and lets it go out to the house, we might have a better solution. And if anything's going to fail, it would start here. But we really want to make sure what's on the other side is streamlined. It's slick.
That makes sense. Yeah, coupling a generator and a battery. And I guess you need surge protection as well. I mean, that's that's a huge, you got to have that.
No question.
I mean, there's a maintenance aspect as well.
Everything.
To what you're talking about,
no
kicking on once a week, or either the homeowner needs to be knowledgeable of that system and maintaining it, or, they need to hire someone who's creating a schedule to,
how about a service plan?
God, like if there was a company that had a service plan, that would be
how about a service
like
plan?
an AV company, maybe.
who doesn't need a service plan at this point on the houses you're building?
I mean,
right?
No, everyone does.
Do your clients change the filters?
No.
My guess is they don't.
They don't want
right?
to. No.
Do they clean the pool? My guess is they don't.
No.
So we need people to support our experience every day.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure that our experience, just like that power, is consistent.
You know, one of the things that I love using is the analogy of cars in talking with homeowners because it's really intuitive. People naturally get, hey, the product that you're getting is like a Lexus.
Yes.
Or, okay, this is the Toyota version, but we can also give you the Ferrari version. Or, you know, it's the
doubt.
one of the things that I think is tailing the construction is people think that building a home, they are building something that's static.
Yeah.
You know, we're putting some wood up, we're putting some stone, and then calling it a day.
Yeah.
And it's really a machine. I mean, it really is. It might be a little dramatic to say it's living and breathing, but it has systems in it.
But it is living and breathing.
And it's got.
I mean,
because I'm dramatic. Sorry.
I mean, it especially again when you're talking about a tier of home that has incredible amount of complexity to it. I mean, but it's pretty remarkable, and I think that's really when you're talking about, you know, education of clients, you know, that's something that's really, I think when clients get that, okay, there are systems in this house, those need to be maintained, that conversation goes way better.
I think it does. And I think, you know, I'm dealing with this right now where I've got a first-time buyer, first-time builder client, and they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
And really sharp clients, but they still don't know what they don't know. So am I the trusted advisor or am I the guy that's going for the checkbook?
Right.
Yeah.
You know? And so how do you have these conversations with that client that's never done this before?
Yeah.
And at this level, I mean, building a house is one thing.
Yeah. 100%.
Building a house with you guys is it's next level. Right?
100%.
I mean, there are decisions you never even knew you had to discuss.
Yes. Whole nother world.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's not a bad thing.
No.
That's a joyful thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we have to understand that we've got to make those decisions and make sure that we're not being penny wise, pound foolish.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you know, I tell people this all the time. I really don't care how much we sell you, what we sell you. I want to make sure that we can meet the mark. I want to make sure we can meet the expectation.
Yeah, that's great.
And if that expectation is zero, awesome.
Yeah,
you don't want anything? Awesome.
Fantastic.
We're good.
Yeah.
If you want networking at the gate that's 2 miles away and you want to be able to walk from the gate to the house with Wi-Fi, not cellular, but Wi-Fi, that's a little different story. It can be done.
Yeah.
I met with a client one time that said he wanted to put a phone system in every deer blind.
Wow.
So he wanted Wi-Fi in every deer blind. So if his kids wanted to be able to play on their computer, they could do it while they were waiting for the deer to come out.
That's awesome.
That's hunting, buddy. Woo!
You know, so I mean, it's different strokes.
Yeah. Hey.
Who am I to say that's not important?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
So, you know, once again, I just think it's really, we've got to qualify well. Yeah. And we've got to be educational without being too technical, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, that totally makes sense.
Yeah, no, and that's a particular challenge I would think for you guys. I mean, coming in, it's very technical. There's a lot. You really get in the weeds.
In this town
and communicating
you
with
got to be
people.
careful who you run into. I ran into a guy one time and he told me that I was selling him a Yamaha surround receiver and he goes, I invented the chip in the surround chip. I'm like, oh God. You know, he starts asking me questions. I'm like, hey man,
that is it.
I didn't.
I'm a professional, but
I didn't design the chip. You know more than you got me.
Yeah. That's so good.
Oh man, that's true.
I love
this is
it.
a big tech town. Well, hey, I wanted to get back a little bit in the vein of like service and maintenance. So I think you're starting to see that a little bit more, especially in like the higher end construction markets where builders, they're not just providing the construction services, but they're also trying to partner with the client even on the back end and say, hey, we've built this amazing product, but we also want to help you maintain it. And we want to continue to serve you, over many years, however many years you desire.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
I think so too. It's just another sector in the market that you can really get in and help the clients out. Because like you said, it's a big machine. Yeah. It's a big, complicated machine, and and like you said, these clients aren't in there changing the filters and flushing, the water heaters and things like that, changing light bulbs. Yeah. So we need to be there to help out.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the most brilliant thing the building business has ever done.
Agreed.
Because at the end of the day, people are picking you guys to build possibly their dream home, the home they're going to live in for the rest of their lives. They did great research to determine that you were the right look, the right fit. You build houses the way they want.
Yeah.
Why would you change that process after the business, after the transaction, after the job is complete? To me, you want that same experience as the day you walked in. The first night you slept there should be the same as the 10th year night that you sleep there.
Yeah.
You guys know better about what that's going to look like than anybody because you've built it. You know it inside and out. So I commend you for that. Every time I see a builder that's building that kind of rapport with their clients, to me, it ends up being you're part of the family.
Yeah.
You're literally part of the family for the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
What I saw back in the 20, 30 years ago was builders would build a house, gone, on to the next one.
Yep.
AV company would come in, they'd put stuff in, gone to the next one. Nobody was calling those people. Nobody was following up with those people. Nobody was making sure the experience was consistent. Does the client know how to use the system? Does the client know how to use the oven? Right? I mean, the ovens we sell today are pretty fancy.
Yeah,
they are.
Right?
Yeah.
So this continual training, learning, supporting of the experience that we sold them on when the very beginning, we're going to be the best builder. We're going to build the most amazing house.
Yeah.
We're going to put in the most amazing AV technology system for you. And then we're gone. That doesn't feel good.
Right.
So what you're doing is awesome. I think what it also does is it creates a pathway to building the ranch house. I bet you have clients that you built the homeowner's house and the kids are old enough now to where you're building the kids' houses.
Totally.
That's true.
So now you're a familial builder.
Yeah.
Anybody in the family, you're building for all of them.
Yeah.
We're trying to do the same thing. We believe that every AV integrator in the world is all about getting to the light at the end of the tunnel. That's not what we're looking for. We're trying to get the job done, get the client in, and create a tunnel for the rest of the time to take care of the client in anything they want to do in the future.
Yeah.
Making sure that those systems act the same way as they should.
Yeah.
We're in the process of building a 5-year upgrade plan for each client. Access points for networking. Sometimes you look at a client's house, he's been in it for 4 or 5 years, and the access points have had 4 revisions. How many iPhones have you had? I think we're at 17 now. They started coming out in 2008.
It's wild.
Right?
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is it's not you have to upgrade it, but we want to make sure that you're getting the best out of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially when you have a house, like companies that have been around a long time. We have, repeat clients, or something like that. And some of these people have been in their house 20 years,
Yeah.
Well, okay, if you're thinking about from the AV side, 20 years ago till now, if your only touch point is 20 years ago and then now, well, you've really lost a lot of opportunity to serve these people well.
Yeah.
They're not going to be needing to do that every year,
No,
sure, but
no.
but there are components of that they would have been happy to upgrade 10 years ago,
Yeah.
or 5 years ago, you know,
That's great.
and through that process.
I the other day, perfect example. One of the service guys came to me and he said, "Hey, the Johnson's Lutron system's acting up a little bit. I'm starting to worry about the processor." And I said, "Well, which one is it?" They said, "It's Lutron Illuminations." And I go, "Oh dear God, that's old." So I AI'd it. It was 23 years old.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I high-fived him and he goes, what do you mean? It's about to go out. And I said, "Are you kidding me? They lived in this house for 23 years and the lighting system has never had a problem.
Yeah.
And we've got a problem now. We should be celebrating the fact that we've made it for 23 years.
Yeah.
The client should be
That's
tickled
awesome.
to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's
That's
a good
great.
news story.
That
We
is.
had a great run.
Yeah.
It's not that we want to upgrade, it's that it probably we need to start
Yeah.
talking about that.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I think
100%.
we've missed some of that in the past.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to me, I want to make sure that we give those opportunities to look at the keypads in 23 years with Lutron
Yeah.
changed exponentially.
Yeah.
And keypads are kind of like jewelry.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting that way. Yeah.
They're like jewelry.
It's like a little bling.
Yeah. And so do you want old bling or do you want new bling? Well, if
Yeah.
you're going to change the bling to new, you
Yeah.
might need a new processor.
Yeah.
So there's little things like that if I told a client you're going to get 23 years out of a lighting system, I think people would say, I'm in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I can see the value in that.
That's
Mhm.
great.
So, anyway, I think all that, to me, the support of the system, we believe very, very strongly that we have so many clients that are in second homes or have ranches that started coming about in 2020 where people are buying ranches.
Mm-hmm.
The key when they go to the ranch, it needs to work.
Yep.
If nobody's been there in 3 months,
Yeah.
is it working?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How about a reconnaissance to go out and make sure everything's slick before the Johnsons get there?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah.
That's
Right?
good. Perfect
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
turn on the lights.
when they
make
bring
sure
friends
that-
from Houston or Austin or
Yeah.
Dallas
Yeah.
and they show up and they're so excited to show their ranch house and
Yeah.
they want to watch the Texas football game
Yeah.
and it doesn't work
Mm-hmm.
because there was a lightning strike,
Yeah.
Yeah.
somebody needs to know about it.
Uh-huh.
That's
So-
frustrating.
To me,
Yeah.
those are the things that,
Yeah.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's either a good one or a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Scott, service is something that we really pride ourselves on. Providing the best service that we can provide, before construction, the pre-construction phase,
No doubt.
during construction, and now we're even, after construction. And I can say honestly, Scott, y'all are great examples of providing excellent service from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Just in our times that we've been able to work together on certain projects, the service is excellent. It's there, and you can tell. It even trickles down to every crew member. They all really care about the details,
I agree.
and they care about the service.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that, and everybody else as well at Captivate.
Well, I will tell you, I think it starts at the top. Just like it starts with David here,
Yes.
it starts with Scott there. And I believe 100% in service because I've gone to that house that didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there with a client to the second home and the system might not have worked. And there's nothing more embarrassing than to walk into an application that you had anything to do with for a weekend event and it not work exactly. So I never want to experience that anywhere I go, whether I did it or I didn't do it.
Right.
And I don't really hope that my competitor has that problem either because I'm going to visit that house and I don't want to look at it and say, damn your luck.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, I believe in it so much that we have 10 dedicated people in our service department and
That's
it's
incredible.
growing.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome.
And the only company that I know of that comes close is Cyber Group out of Scottsdale's got 8.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's all they do full time is call people and try to make sure that we're servicing them, doing tune-ups on their jobs, making sure that their system works when they want to use it, which is generally every day.
Yeah, which is a lot. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
So
It's really fantastic.
That's great, Scott, and I appreciate you talking with us. We covered a lot of ground. I think we hit some really important topics. We've never specifically talked about AV on the podcast before, so this is the first time, and I think we really hit a lot of important subjects. So, Scott, I appreciate your time, and thank you for coming on.
well, this has been awesome, and I appreciate your partnership.
Yeah.
The jobs we've done with y'all have always been awesome. Most importantly, I enjoy going on those jobs. And that's part of this is the enjoyment of seeing great structures.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big fan of the architecture. So
Absolutely.
We are too.
Yeah.
Till next time.
Till next time. Let's
Thanks,
do it
Scott.
again.
Yeah, we should. Thank you.
Thank you.